Welcome back to our series, Copilot for Hiring, HR Meets Candidate. This time, let's tackle the silent killer of good hiring process, scattered interview notes. Here is the catch. Most companies want all feedback in their applicant tracking system or ATS structure template, but interviewers rarely do it properly. And candidates don't swipe away. Towards the end, we will share how understanding your interview feedback gets processed help you stand out in your next interview. Let's face it, interview notes are chaos. Interviewers jot things down however they like, Word, OneNote, or even on paper. It's quick, natural, but inconsistent. Even if all interviewers use Word, the notes are often in free form. Bullet points, paragraphs, tables, or shorthand, you name it. One might describe a candidate's communication skills as clear and concise. Another writes strong talker, while someone else forgets to mention communication altogether. Yes, ATS usually comes with built-in interview templates. Policy-wise, companies say use the template, but in practice, interviewers rarely do it during the interview. The form can be slow or restrictive. So notes often live outside the ATS first, creating a messy workflow. Later, filling in the template feels like actual work. Some may just paste in short line, like strong communicator would recommend, or worse, skip the details entirely. The result? Uneven compliance, generic or delayed feedback, and valuable insights get lost in translation. Hiring decision suffers. So how do we bridge the gap? That's where Copilot steps in. Let's go to Indeed and grab an ATS-style template. It contains candidate name, date, recommendation, needed experience, and skill ratings. Let's use notes from interview B as an example. It's for a tax manager role with two candidates, Morgan and Priya. Ask Copilot. Restructure the interview notes for each candidate into the Indeed interview feedback template format. If any info is missing, mark as not captured. Attach the note and the template. Here we have original interviewer notes on the left, Copilot results on the right. Copilot pulls the candidate's name and the interview date. It correctly extracts recommendation. Interview B recommends Morgan, provided he shows willingness to embrace new technology. And right below that, in the Y section, it neatly summarizes Morgan brings strong compliance team leadership and CRA audit experience, but needs to show he can adapt to automation. Then it breaks down the feedback into the required categories and gives rating for each skill. For example, presentation, 4 out of 5. Solid presentation skills, engage the panel with examples. Same process for the other candidate, Priya. And see here, it clearly flags any missing information as not captured. No more digging through paragraphs. Copilot reframes messy notes into ATS-ready format. Now, you may still need to paste it into the system manually, but the hard part is gone. No more rewriting, just transferring. Like what you just saw? You will love our other video. Write professional reports 10 times faster with this secret feature, Copilot Word Hack. Tap the card here. If your company lets interviewers submit notes in any format, then the heavy lifting lands on HR. Let Copilot batch process them. Type, restructure the interview notes for each candidate into the Indeed interview feedback template format. Do not merge across interviewers. Keep a separate entry per interviewer, even if candidate's name repeat. If any info is missing, mark as not captured. Attach the template and notes from multiple interviewers. Here is the output. Copilot generates a clean structured entry for each candidate from each interviewer. HR can simply drop them into the system. No more hunting through messy notes or wasting hours consolidating. Copilot bridges the messy human side and the structured system side. Interviewers can take notes in their own style, HR gets the structured data without chasing people. Compliance gap solved. Evaluation is consistent. Admin burden drops, and hiring decision is fair. This doesn't just help HR, it matters for candidates too. Stay with me. Candidates, your interview feedback doesn't live in interviewers' head. It lives in templates, like the one we just went through. And what does that mean to you? Use measurable impact. Numbers, outcomes, scale. Structured notes love concrete data. Interviewer A originally wrote, Morgan led a 5-person team and had strong CRA audit handling. Good, but still vague. Imagine instead Morgan said,
I led a 5-person team that closed 18 CRA audit cases in 12 months, reducing open files by 35%.
Now the interviewer writes that down. When we rerun that through Copilot, those numbers get pulled into experience section, giving HR a much stronger reason to say yes. Repeat key skills. If a role needs a certain strength, don't just mention it once. In Morgan's case, almost every interviewer noted his cross-border tax expertise, but only in passing. If he had highlighted in several of his responses, that same strength would pop up in multiple sections: experience, presentation, skills, comment, and overall evaluation. When Copilot batch process richer notes like that, multiple fields fill with repeated evidence, making that strength jumps off the page. Fill in the gaps. Don't wait to be asked. If you weren't asked about the skill, volunteer a story. Every interviewer flagged Morgan as cautious about new tech. He never offered to show he's willing to learn. If he'd share something like,
When our firm piloted a new CRA e-filing platform, I wasn't familiar at first, so I scheduled extra practice sessions after hours and worked through the tutorials myself. Within 2 weeks, I was comfortable enough to use it for live cases and even shared tips with my teammates.
That single volunteered example could flip the narrative. Interviewer A's adaptability, hesitant with new system, risk if automation expands, becomes initially cautious with new system but shows willingness to learn. And concerns in overall recommendation and overall evaluation gets removed. Interview B adds a line, addressed initial hesitation by describing his proactive approach to mastering a new CRA e-filing platform. Willingness to learn eased my concern. To address the original worry. The only hesitation is around his adaptability. He seemed cautious about automation and workflow changes. Interviewer C needs support in tech adoption. Updates to would benefit from structured support but shows growth mindset, and concerns in recommendation, why, and overall evaluation are removed. Interview D changes tech hesitant to willing learner, shared CRA e-filing self-learning story in adaptability, and but tech skills weak to growing comfort with new tech in overall evaluation. Batch process those updated notes with Copilot, and feedback flips from a warning flag to a positive story. Be specific in examples. Copilot captures those details and puts them in the red bucket. No actual example needed here. It's already baked in. The measurable numbers and that CRA e-filing story. So here is the big picture. Even though ATS templates have been around forever, tools like Copilot adds real value. For HR, it turns free-form notes into system-ready data. For candidates, it makes sure your best stories don't get lost in translation. Want to see how Copilot in action for resume screening and salary benchmarking? Check out our earlier video. And don't forget to subscribe for practical ways to use AI at work.